mouthwash. That's what people want to know. And it's kind of, I don't know, a hot topic if you're in the dental world anyway, on social media. Do you need something that kills 99.9% of germs, as the commercial claims? Do you need it to burn? Do you need it for bad breath? Do you need it for gum disease? Do you need it to prevent cavities? Let's talk about it. I'm Taylor McFarland, a board-certified pediatric dentist and mom of 3. I am the mama dentist here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest even, Facebook, and today we will talk a little bit about mouthwash. So use this video to help come up with some specific questions for you, and you can talk to your dentist about what you might need to do and what fits your situation. If you're excited, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button, and let's get going talking about some mouthwash. First, let's go through some basics about mouthwash and mouth care. Most people, I really don't think, need a mouthwash in their day-to-day routine. And for some people, if you're using an antiseptic mouthwash, like an alcohol-based mouthwash, some essential oils like Listerine, or a prescription-type mouthwash like that has chlorhexidine in it that's antibacterial, you might be doing harm because our mouth, we have this balance of good bacteria and bad bacteria. And if you're just going out, taking out 99.9% of all these bacteria in your mouth, you might be harming the good ones. So there is a shift now as we understand more about our mouth and the bacterial makeup that we don't necessarily think we need to be using really powerful antiseptic mouthwashes every day. So that's kind of how I have come to my conclusions about mouthwash. I actually don't use mouthwash in my day-to-day routine. My kids don't use it either. My husband doesn't use it. I'm gonna let you know in this video some specific cases where mouthwash might be indicated. But again, you are an individual. You've got to talk this through with your own dentist. So the first area is bad breath. A lot of people struggle with bad breath, and there are mouthwashes out there like TheraBreath, OxyFresh, and Closis. They contain in them usually 2 ingredients, sometimes just 1, but chlorine dioxide is the main one. The thing with bad breath is there's usually an underlying cause. There's congestion, there's nasal drainage, there's tonsil stones. These things have to be removed or cleansed in order for that bad breath to go away. If it's chronic bad breath, you've got to get to the bottom of why. You may have gum disease, you may have a cavity in there, you might have some food trapped under an appliance somewhere. And so you need to see your dentist and figure out the root cause, or your physician. But if for a temporary period, maybe you just had tonsil stones, or you've had an antibiotic and you got thrush and you've had just an overgrowth or imbalance of your bacteria in your mouth resulting in bad breath, a short period of time using one of these bad breath rinses might help. The chlorine dioxide helps target those bad breath smelly bacteria. And then there's also a second ingredient usually added, zinc, like zinc gluconate, that helps target volatile sulfur compounds, or VSCs. And volatile sulfur compounds are, as they sound like, they're the sulfur-based things that really stink. Sulfur smells, that's the stink in eggs and stuff. And so it targets and neutralizes those volatile sulfur compounds. So for a bad breath rinse, you usually want to look for both of those. If you have really strong bad breath, good for after eating something like really garlicky or oniony too. You're about to head out to a date or an interview, that might be a one-time use of that would be helpful. So Closis, OxyFresh, and TheraBreath are both good brands, and you can find the ones, usually it's like the extra strength, like for TheraBreath, it's the plus that has both the zinc and the chlorine dioxide. But here's the trouble with chlorine dioxide. It's called stabilized, but it's only stabilized and active for so long. The best version of that type of rinse would be one where you are mixing fresh that chlorine dioxide so that it does not break down on the shelf over time. The mouthwash that I like for that purpose is called ProFresh. So this is ProFresh, and it has a system that you are mixing it as you're going to use it. So it's going to have the most active chlorine dioxide, so it's going to be the most effective if you're after that antibacterial effect of those bad breath bacteria. So say your dentist, after you've had a surgery or after a bout of antibiotics, wants you to use something to help with kind of normalizing those bad bacteria, getting rid of them, this might be something helpful to use. And this one, it's mainly targeting those bacteria. It does not have zinc, so it only has that chlorine dioxide ingredient, but it's really fresh, really powerful. One point that I want to add about the bad breath mouth rinses and getting to the root cause is, for a lot of people who struggle with chronic bad breath, tongue scraping is a great habit to get in to help get rid of any buildup of dead tissue. By tongue scraping, I like the metal tongue scraper by Avuli. You can find that on Amazon. I'll link it down below. But you're getting rid of any dead bacteria, any old dead skin cells from the top of your tongue that might build up on the top, especially if you drink really hot coffee or you vape or smoke, anything where there's heat, where you're getting damage to these cells on your tongue, which, by the way, that's why smoking, vaping is so bad. You're getting increased, more rapid cell turnover. You're harming them. You're burning your mouth, essentially. And that cell turnover, over time, you can get a bad cell and a cancerous cell. This can be my one plea to please don't vape or smoke. It's not good for your mouth. Don't. But even really hot coffee, it's like burning your mouth. You can get buildup of skin cells, of bacteria, and that can stink over time. It produces these volatile sulfur compounds. So a lot of people find if they're struggling with bad breath, they practice tongue scraping, getting further and further back. The bad breath bacteria tend to live the furthest back. You're cleaning that off with a tongue scraper morning and nighttime. That's really going to help with bad breath most of all. Addressing the root cause, and this is a common, pretty simple fix. Root cause, as are tonsil stones. So ask your dentist and see if you can get to the bottom of it. The next thing we'll talk about is gingivitis. So that's usually something that you're managing with your dentist, especially if it's the more severe form of gum disease called periodontitis. That means you've got some pocketing, some bone loss, a severe immune reaction to those bacteria. Your body's reacting in a way that's creating lots of inflammation, and you've got to be managing that with your dentist or you'll end up losing teeth. You'll have bone loss, tooth loss ultimately. You have to clean out the bacteria, you have to clean off the tartar and that buildup, usually through a process called scaling and root planing. And then when you're in a stabilized state or immediately after a surgery, they might put you on a mouthwash like chlorhexidine. That's really powerful, again, to try and to kill off these bad bacteria and try to get you to a more healthy state and a balanced microbiome in your mouth with good bacteria thriving. They might also want you to do something just over the counter. So like Sonicare, the Breath RX, that can be helpful. If you have a sore spot that comes up and you want something powerful to help with just gum bacteria, they contain an ingredient called cetylpyridinium chloride, CPC, and that's in a lot of mouthwashes. You'll see it in ACT and other things, but CPC tends to be the ingredient that I look for gum health. It's antibacterial. So again, you don't want to be using it forever and always, but if you've got a specific bout of inflammation, maybe you were flossing and some plaque got stuck somewhere, you got like a little gum inflammation irritation, you can use this for a little bit. You can dip some on a proxy brush, clean it in between your teeth, but not something again I'd use every single day, but look for something with cetylpyridinium chloride. So like this can be helpful. And those bad breath rinses too, the chlorine dioxide, can also be helpful at targeting the gum gingivitis causing bacteria. With gingivitis, just like with bad breath, you want to address the root cause too. So if you've got periodontal disease, really severe, you want to be seeing and managing it with your dentist, scaling and root planing, that kind of stuff. But even with gingivitis, you've got to be managing the root cause. It's that buildup of plaque bacteria and food debris that's sitting around. So go to your dentist, get your regular cleaning, get tartar removed. You can't remove tartar on your own. You have to do that at the dentist, and then be flossing daily. I do my flossing routine at night, not in the morning, but you can do it whenever. And then brushing really well using a quality toothbrush with proper technique. I've got lots of videos going through good toothbrushes, the best ones that I like, toothpaste that I like, and then also I share a proper technique for brushing with manual or electric. So if you want to go find those, I think it's in my tips demos playlist. You can go and find them. I'll try and link them down below too. One mouthwash I'll mention that I've seen a lot of hype about is Elemental nanosilver. I'll say with nanoparticles in general, so nanohydroxyapatite too, I'm a lot more cautious with them, especially a nano metal. And I talked to the creator, really nice guy, really smart guy, and they talked about how it's a different type of silver and it's very safe. But I myself, I'm not an early adopter of new tech. I want to be sure that the nano silver is safe. And then I have the same concern with a nano product that is antibacterial, that it's killing the good bacteria as well as the bad ones. So I don't think it's selective for the bad bacteria. It's a cool idea. It creates like little micro holes in your plaque so that it can penetrate more deeply. But if you're cleaning really well with floss and toothbrush, getting rid and not letting plaque stay and build up and mature, I don't think a mouthwash right now, at least for me, like that is indicated, but a lot of people like it. A lot of dentists I know like it. So elemental silver is out there, but the main ingredient it's using is nano silver particles. And so just not something I am comfortable with yet, but they have data saying it's safe, and a lot of dentists do recommend it. So just take it with a grain of salt and use what you want to use, but that would be something nano silver if you were going to use it for like bad breath, gingivitis type of thing, targeting bacteria. And cavities are a bacterial caused disease too, but for cavities still my favorite way to go is fluoride. And with that caveat, I will go into cavity prevention mouthwashes. This is the one time where a mouthwash might be indicated every day. You might have a prescription level of fluoride toothpaste and or mouthwash, but generally the mouthwash is a lower concentration of fluoride, and I'll recommend using that at a different time of day than toothpaste. So you're not diluting your toothpaste effect if you have a prescription one, and you're just getting more frequent fluoride exposure. So bacteria produce acid, and that acid is what weakens the tooth. And so you use fluoride in your toothpaste and your rinse to help counteract that acidity. Fluoride incorporates into the mineral of your tooth, which is called hydroxyapatite. It incorporates as fluorapatite and makes it more resistant to future acid breakdown. The tooth hydroxyapatite, that will leach out of the tooth at a pH of 5.5, so pretty acidic, but it will leach out of a fluoride infused tooth with fluorapatite at a more acidic level, 4.5, so an order of magnitude greater. So say your coffee is pH of 5, it is going to demineralize, take mineral out of your tooth and weaken it when you don't use fluoride. But if you use fluoride, it's much stronger. That pH of 5 doesn't fall down to that 4.5 level. You're not going to get as much demineralization. So fluoride is protective and it can be beneficial if you use it every day. I will sometimes use fluoride mouth rinse at lunchtime if I haven't had time to brush, if I don't have a toothbrush available, after drinking my coffee, something like that. So I think that covers most of the mouthwashes out there and indications, cavities, bad breath, gum disease. And I think there are times and places that you could use any one of them. Go by what your dentist says, but also ask questions and read more on these manufacturers' websites and other websites from reputable sources. Don't let places online with people who aren't in the dental sphere scare you, and even people in the dental sphere nowadays, because it's trendy, are going the route of toxic chemicals, and just know everything is toxic at a certain dose, including fluoride. But fluoride by and large really is safe in the recommended doses and levels, and I love it for the reason I explained, is acid is the root cause of cavities, and we want to counteract and prevent that acid wear, erosion, and harm. And fluoride does that better than any other tool we have out there right now. If you look up foods that contain fluoride, you'll see there are lots. Fluoride naturally occurs in water. Fluoride is an infant formula. It's not added. It's just in there based on what it is made from. So you'll find fluoride in a lot of places. Anyone telling you they're completely eliminating fluoride is lying. But this is not a fluoride video. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I will stop now. If you got any questions about mouthwash that I didn't answer, let me know. If this was helpful and you like my ramblings, come and join my membership, because I have a live every week where I answer people's questions about my course, which is called Tantrum-Free Toothbrushing, Cavity-Free Without the Tears. It helps parents understand how to care for their child's teeth, keep them cavity-free, how to prevent cavities, and also how to manage toothbrush tantrums, which are really common in kids and are one of the greatest struggles I encounter with parents who are talking about dental care with their children. So I talk about my course, but I also answer other questions. I will do polls and answer specific questions, or I'll ask just within that chat. You can join that if you want to check it out, and let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed about mouthwash that you want to know. Thanks for being here, and check out the video that YouTube wants you to watch next. Thanks.